Hi guys, welcome back to Wayward Son Custom. Today we have the Tisas B9R Duty, and that's a double stack 1911. So, for those of you that have not been paying attention, Tisas has very quietly been churning out some really good quality guns at a very reasonable price. I mean, a lot of Turkish companies have been. Tisas just happens to be one of them. And so with this, like I was showing you, you get the gun, 2 magazines, cleaning kit, the lock, user's manual, all the stuff you would normally associate with buying a gun, right? So everything you would normally think is in the case is in the case. And then the gun itself seems to be acquitted quite nicely. We'll go a little more in depth there here in just a second. One of the first things that people ask about double stack 1911s is what the magazine compatibility is. Not capacity, but anyone can see that, but compatibility. So I will tell you this much. I need to take it out to the range to see if it'll cycle and everything, but these magazines do work in my, they do fit and seem like they would work in my Springfield Prodigy 4 1/4, and the Springfield Prodigy mags fit in here and everything. And using dummy rounds, it seems like the magazines interchange between the two, the Tisas ones and the Springfield ones and the Tisas, and it seems like they all cycle fine. Again, that's using dummy rounds. We'll see what's what whenever we get to the range. All right, so anybody that is familiar with the 1911 or 2011 platform will be used to all these controls. I mean, you have your slide lever in the same spot. You know, nothing weird about the slide stop. You have an ambidextrous safety right here. It's on both sides, and pretty audible on off there. Easy to hear, and of course triggers in the spot you would expect it to be. No kidding, right? This model does have a pigtail rail for weapon mounted lights and accessories. Mag catch, mag release is in the same spot as you would normally associate it, and it does have a working grip safety like most 1911s. This one also, in addition to that, of course, it is double stack, so that is a departure. It has fairly normal standard type 1911 cocking serrations forward and rear. This one is, as you can see, RMR cut, so it is optics ready. And this is a direct mount system, so you take off the plate and you will mount the optic directly on there, no plates needed. So that's pretty cool also. Now, right here you have a white front sight and blacked out serrated rear, which actually gives a pretty nice sight picture. When you press out, it's pretty easy to pick up that front sight. It would be nice to have a fiber optic or night sight up front, but at this price point, for a double stack 1911, you're still getting quite a bit of quality even without that. Presumably, anyway. We'll take it out to the range. If it doesn't run, then, you know, of course it's not worth anything. But some decent checkering on the front strap and the back strap. It could be a little more aggressive for my taste, but it's not bad. The texturing on the side panels is adequate. It could be better, but it's adequate. If I decide to keep this for any time at all, I will most likely just go ahead and put a little bit of silicone carbide on there. I don't know, do something, maybe some more aggressive stippling. I don't know. I just know that although for most people I think it'll work fine, for me I just like a little bit more texture. So that's just me being a little nitpicky. At this price point, you can only expect so much as far as aesthetics and ergonomics go, but hey, it feels great in the hand. I don't see any. I've been sitting here fondling it and looking at it and everything, and I do not see where any spots where I think there might be a hot spot, or I haven't found any burrs or anything. It would be nice if this was a bull barrel, a bushingless bull barrel, but it is a traditional bushing barrel. So if you're used to just your plain Jane 1911 GI government style, then that would be nothing new to you. But overall, I mean, it looks and feels like it's well built. As you cycle it, I mean, again, we won't know for sure until we get to the range, but it feels like it's sprung about the way it should be. Overall, I think the aesthetics are at least halfway decent. I think it's a decent looking gun. Again, fit and finish seems to be great. Ergonomics are what you would expect. And yeah, the only thing left to do, I guess, is take it to the range. Oh, and for those of you that are going to be nitpicky on me, I did forget to tell you, I think, that it's a 5-inch barrel. To me, it would seem like that would be common sense and that you would just know that. But for those of you that didn't catch it, this is a 5-inch barrel. And again, it's a bushing barrel, not a bushless bull barrel. Anyway, let's take it to the range and see how she does. The Tisas Double Stack 1911 9mm. First shots. And let's see what we got here. Ooh, not bad. Alright, here we have accuracy from the Tisas Double Stack 1911 on a mini IPSC target. Right here we have from a mixed bag magazine of Winchester steel, blazer brass, and spear gold dots from 5 yards. Then from here we have 25 yards, 10 yards, and 15 yards. So not bad for a budget 1911 double stack. All right, guys, we are back from the range. We took the Tisas Duty B9R double stack 1911 out there and put a couple hundred rounds through it. We put 115 grain, 124 grain, 135 grain, and 147 grain bullets through it. Some of those were jacketed hollow points. Some of those were, just full metal jacket. We had some steel case in there. We had brass case. We even had a couple of nickel plated ones. We had several different manufacturers that were represented in the testing. Everything from blazer brass to Underwood hollow points to let's see, we had spear gold dots. We used Winchester steel case. We used a little bit of everything. And aside from one little hiccup at the beginning, when it was still, I'm going to attribute it to breaking in and also to the fact that I started it off with steel cased ammo. So, I kind of set it up for failure. That Winchester Forged USA, whatever it is, I've had problems with it in several other guns of, higher price, lower price, same price as this. The ammo's just not as consistent as what one would hope for. But I like to try to keep some aluminum case, some steel case. I try to keep some of the cheaper stuff, more expensive stuff, and on a bunch of somewhere in the middle kind of rounds, just to see where a pistol or a rifle will be at, or a shotgun for that matter. But with shotgun, it's not quite as important. But anyway, I like to feed several different grains profile, bullet profiles, hollow points, full metal jacket, total metal jacket, whatever, nickel cases, steel cases, aluminum cases, all that. I like to feed them all through a gun just to see, because if it'll feed all that stuff, then you can pretty well rest assured that you're going to be okay carrying it or using it to defend your life at home or defending someone else or hunting or whatever your application is. But you can be pretty sure that it's going to cycle and feed and do everything it's supposed to with just about anything. And that gives you a lot of peace of mind. And so, like I said, the only hiccup we had was within the first few rounds. That was with steel cased ammo, and I haven't had the best luck with that. So I'm going to put that more on the ammo than the gun. And also, again, cheaper guns, sometimes they need a little bit, and when I say cheaper, I mean less expensive, not cheaply built. But sometimes they need a little bit more of a break-in period, you know. Also, some of the higher-end guns need an extensive break-in period too because of all the tight tolerances. Or, you know, if you have a gun that's Cerakoted or whatever, you know, it all depends. Anyway, it's a long-winded way of saying I'm blaming the ammo, not the gun. Because after that, didn't really have any issues. This particular gun, if you've watched any of my interviews that I did from SHOT Show, one of them was with Dr. Jim's Gun Care. If you come across the video, it's very, very hard to forget. It's an awesome booth there. But they gave me a little bottle of Dr. Jim's, and what I told them I would do is I would pick a gun that I was getting ready to review, and I would use their gun oil, their gun care product on it exclusively until I got several hundred rounds or 1,000 rounds or more through the gun, and that's all I would use is that, and then that way I could do a proper review of not only the gun but also the gun care stuff. So after the first few rounds, I did go ahead, and first few rounds it was just straight out of the box, first magazine really, and then after that I did lube it up without disassembly, just a little bit on the rails. I didn't overdo it, but I did put Dr. Jim's on this. After every magazine, I kind of wiped it down, put some Dr. Jim's on there, and so far, both the gun and Dr. Jim's has been working out really nicely. So far, the product has, the gun care product from Dr. Jim's has done its job as far as lubricating and everything. Keeping everything running slick as a whistle. And the gun itself, I mean, heck, just as I'm sitting here playing with it after shooting it a little bit, it's already starting to loosen up a little bit, and you know, I really can't complain. In my opinion, it could be a little bit, just a little bit more accurate. The Tisas Stakeout in both 9mm and 38 Super, when I tested it, it was incredibly accurate, and especially at the price point. And yeah, this one here was accurate, but I would say that the Stakeout was more accurate. The triggers on them, and I know somewhere they Ken Hackathorn and Masada Ayub and everybody is just going nuts because they can just feel the hammer dropping on this thing. But you know, if you don't do it excessively, it shouldn't be a problem. But as far as the triggers go, I think this and the trigger on the Tisas Stakeout are both about the same. Yeah, I mean, it's a decent 1911 trigger, not superb. I mean, you're not going to mistake this gun for a Staccato or a Stealth Arms Platypus or a Bull Armory, tack, or you're not going to mistake this for a $2,000, $3,000 or more gun. This is not a Jacob Gray or whatever. It's not a Watchtower. This doesn't have Pew View on it or anything like that. But when you consider that this gun is the same price or less than a lot of other guns in the marketplace, and specifically, it's like, I don't know, 4 times less than a staccato, and you're getting the same kind of capacity for the most part, same kind of controls, same kind of feature set, just not quite as refined, not quite as high end. You're not getting quite as much hand fitting and stuff like that. You know, you're not getting all the bells and whistles you might with a different manufacturer. But what you are getting is more than serviceable gun for self-defense. This is the duty version, which is, you know, 5-inch government length barrel, and you know, it would not be my first choice if I was an on-duty cop, but I wouldn't feel slighted if this is what my department was issuing me. I mean, slap an optic on here and I think you're fine. I mean, I think you could do halfway decent in a lot of competitions with it. Again, wouldn't be my first choice, but a good shooter can really wring out a lot of performance out of some middle tier guns. And but honestly, you know, $600 or less is a common price for these. I didn't pay near that for this. I did buy it on my own dime. It wasn't sent to me, but I didn't pay near that much. YouTube really doesn't like us talking about prices, so I may already be demonetized by even mentioning the word price. But all I can tell you is that for the money, this is a very serviceable gun. It was accurate enough, comes optics ready, has a decent trigger. The ergonomics are just your standard, you know, 1911 double stack ergos. The sights you could easily upgrade. They're just dovetailed in there. So if you want to do that, you could, or you could just leave them there and just run your optic and figure that these are just for backup, so they don't have to be fancy. It's however you want to look at it. But for the money, yeah, I think it's worth it. So far, I have not shot a Tisas that I didn't like. Now, again, when it comes to 1911s and stuff, you're not going to mistake this for a Wilson Combat or a Bull Armory or anything. But that's not to say it's a bad gun. The fact that they were able to deliver this nice of a gun at this price point actually is pretty impressive. I mean, that's how I felt about the Tisas Stakeout, and hopefully here pretty soon I'll have a few other Tisas's, different kinds, maybe some of their polymer striker-fired offerings, like maybe the PX9 or whatever. But I do plan on trying to find a few more different models and see if these are just flukes, that they, you know, maybe the rest of them are crap, or hey, maybe this company has just got the secret formula where they can give you good quality items at a good quality price. I don't know. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. You also have the even has a magwell here, which does help quite a bit in keeping your hand locked in there. My pinky rests on it nice and natural. Yeah, I'm getting pretty long-winded here because I've kind of run out of stuff to say. I'm just really impressed with the quality versus the price. Great bang for your buck. If you can't, if you want to get into the 1911 game, primarily the double stack 1911 game, and you don't have staccato money, you don't have watchtower money, you're not running out to buy a Demolitia, you're not running out to buy a Bull Armory TAC SS, you're not, you know, you're just not in that. Say you're not even in the running to get a Springfield Prodigy, or a Great Lakes Firearm Synergy, or a Fusion XP Pro. All of those are also what would be considered by most people budget price 1911 double stacks, and but they're still also $1,000 or more, usually. Sometimes you can get a couple of them dipping down under $1,000, but for the most part, they're all that price point. And so for $400 less, if you're looking to get into that kind of a firearm, I think this is something that you should really consider because the fit and finish on it's great, accurate, ergos, everything I've already said, and at a price point several $100s less than the Springfield or any of the others I just mentioned. So anyway, you guys let me know what you think. Hit me up in the comments below or shoot me an email at waywardsoncustomgun@gmail.com. And as always, you can support the channel by becoming a channel member. Small fee. It's 3 different tiers. They piggyback on each other. And yeah, you get some nice little perks there. And I'm planning on adding some more in the future. But if you don't want to spend any money and you still want to help out the channel, then you can easily do that by, number 1, liking the video. Give me that thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Share the video. That's one that a lot of people forget, but that helps jog the algorithm quite a bit in favor of 2A content. And also, you can head over to waywardsoncustomgun.com. No, YouTube, I do not sell guns or ammo on there. Nothing that you prohibit. So please don't kill my video just because I mentioned my website. But what you can get over there is a little bit extra content. You can get some links that I can't link to from here. You know, some pew-pew kind of stuff. You can also pick up channel merch, t-shirts, all that kind of stuff, and help support the channel that way. But no matter what, whether you do any of that or not, I still want to thank you guys for watching. And until next time, watch your 6 and carry on. Wayward Son out. Really is a lot of bang for the buck.